My wife cheated on me with her ex from the college and destroyed our 5 years of marriage. Looking back at 5 years of my life I built with the woman I loved, destroyed by a betrayal I never saw coming. We met in college. Sarah was vibrant, full of life, and had a magnetic energy that seemed to pull everyone in her direction. I wasn't the only one drawn to her, but I was the one she chose. At least, that's what I told myself for years. I was her friend first, someone she confided in when her life felt like it was falling apart. She had just gotten out of a toxic relationship with her boyfriend at the time, Adam. Adam was bad news from the start. Even back in college, everyone knew it. He was charming in that dangerous, manipulative way, the kind of guy who could talk himself out of any situation. To everyone else, he was a smooth-talking charmer, but behind closed doors, he was controlling, jealous, and emotionally abusive. I saw firsthand what he did to Sarah, how he broke her confidence, isolated her from her friends, and made her question her worth. When she finally broke free of him, I was there to pick up the pieces. I listened to her cry, reassured her that she deserved better, and helped her rebuild the confidence Adam had stolen. Over time, our friendship grew into something deeper. We started dating, and I promised myself that I would never hurt her the way Adam did. I'd never make her feel less than she was. When we got married, it felt like a victory, a testament to how far we'd come. I loved her deeply, and I thought she loved me the same way. We built a life together, sharing dreams of starting a family, buying a house, and growing old together. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours, and I cherished it. That's why it blindsided me when everything came crashing down. It started with subtle changes. Sarah had reconnected with some old college friends through social media. At first, I thought it was great. She was always so nostalgic about her college years, so I figured reconnecting with those people would make her happy. But then she mentioned Adam. He's part of the group chat, she said one evening, casually. He's married now. That last part felt like a reassurance, but in hindsight, I think she was trying to downplay any potential suspicion. I trusted her completely, so I didn't think much of it. Why would I? But things started to shift after that. She began spending more time on her phone, laughing at messages I wasn't part of, and staying up late to catch up with friends. At first, I brushed it off. We all need to maintain friendships outside of our marriage, right? But then she became distant. Our conversations felt shallow, our intimacy dwindled, and the warmth that used to define our relationship was replaced by an uncomfortable coldness. One night, she came home late. Too late. She said she had been out with her college friends, but her excuse felt rehearsed. There was a nervous edge to her voice, and she avoided eye contact. That was when the first seed of doubt was planted. I tried to ignore it, telling myself I was being paranoid. But as the days turned into weeks, the doubt grew. She started dressing up more than usual, spending extra time on her appearance before going out. When I asked her about it, she brushed me off, saying I was overthinking things. The final straw came one Saturday afternoon. She accidentally left her phone unlocked on the kitchen counter while she went to shower. I wasn't proud of what I did, but my gut was screaming at me to look. And there it was. Messages from Adam. Explicit, intimate, and filled with confessions of love. They had been meeting behind my back, reigniting a relationship that should have stayed buried in the past. My hands trembled as I read the words. I felt sick, like the air had been sucked out of the room. This was the man who had broken her once, the man I had helped her escape from. And now she was willingly running back to him, throwing away everything we had built together. When she walked into the room, I confronted her. I didn't yell. I didn't even cry. I just asked, why? She froze, her face pale as she realized what I had seen. It's not what you think, she stammered, but the words felt hollow. Don't lie to me, Sarah. I saw the messages. Tears welled up in her eyes, but I felt no sympathy. It just happened, she said weakly. I didn't mean for it to. Stop, I interrupted, my voice sharper than I intended. You don't just happen to cheat on your husband with the man who ruined your life. You made a choice, Sarah. Over and over again, she tried to justify it, saying she had been feeling lost and that reconnecting with Adam had stirred up old emotions. She said she didn't know how to tell me because she didn't want to hurt me. But all I heard were excuses. "You didn't want to hurt me?" I repeated, laughing bitterly. "Do you have any idea what you've done? You've destroyed everything. 5 years of marriage, gone. For what? A man who treated you like garbage?" She broke down, begging for forgiveness, saying she'd cut off all contact with Adam and do whatever it took to fix things. But I couldn't even look at her. The woman I had loved, the woman I had trusted, had betrayed me in the worst possible way. I moved out the next day. I couldn't stay in the house where every corner reminded me of the life we had shared, a life that now felt like a lie. The divorce process was brutal. She tried to fight for the house, claiming she deserved it because I was the one who left. But I wasn't going to let her take anything more from me. In the end, the house was sold, and we went our separate ways. I found a small apartment on the other side of town and started rebuilding my life from scratch. The first few months were the hardest. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, and couldn't stop replaying the betrayal in my mind. Therapy became my lifeline. I needed to understand why it happened, not just for closure but to ensure I wouldn't carry the baggage into any future relationships. My therapist helped me see that her actions weren't a reflection of my worth. I had done everything I could to be a good husband. Her betrayal was about her flaws, not mine. Over time, I started to heal. I threw myself into work, picked up old hobbies I had abandoned during our marriage, and reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in years. Slowly but surely, I began to rediscover myself. One day, I ran into an old college friend who told me about Sarah. After our divorce, she had moved in with Adam, but it didn't take long for their relationship to fall apart. He hadn't changed, he was still the same manipulative, toxic person he had always been. When he left her, she had nowhere to go. I wish I could say I felt sorry for her, but I didn't. She made her choices, and now she was living with the consequences. Last I heard, she was staying in a shelter, trying to get back on her feet. As for me, life has never been better. I've built a life I'm proud of, one that doesn't revolve around someone else's happiness. I've traveled to places I'd always dreamed of visiting, made new friends, and even started dating again. Trusting someone new hasn't been easy, but I'm learning to open my heart again. The pain Sarah caused will always be a part of my story, but it no longer defines me. I'm stronger now, wiser, and more aware of my worth. Looking back, I realized that losing her was the best thing that could have happened to me. It forced me to confront my fears, rebuild my life, and rediscover who I am. I gave her my love, my loyalty, and my support, and she threw it all away. But in doing so, she set me free. And for that, I'm grateful.